Greetings from ShedSounds Studios here in rural West Virginia. My name is Ian Beabout, and normally you'll probably click on my videos to see me talk about movies. I'm really just an amateur enthusiast when it comes to films, and I only really started watching like serious art films and such in the last year or so. What my bread and butter really is recording. And I built this place, ShedSounds Studios, within a year of graduating college with a degree in public relations and music technology from West Liberty University. This is where I work. I work and sleep and eat and watch films all in the same space all the time. I'm a self-motivated person, and you know, this is what I like. I like having everything kind of in the same place. It helps me focus to have everything in the same place. So I thought that since I've been doing the YouTube channel for a couple of months, and I've managed to pick up some subscribers and some interest in the videos, I thought I would break with tradition and not cover a film this time, although next time I definitely will be talking about movies again. I haven't stopped talking about movies. But I thought it would be cool to run down the microphone collection in ShedSounds. So this is something that I've been working on since the very beginning. One of the first things I did after I graduated school in order to build my microphone collection is I bought enough Shure SM57s and 58s to cover a drum set. So I have many of these guys. I have a lot of the SM57s, and these are also wonderful instrument mics. So you can put these on a guitar cab as well as a drum set, or, you know, in some cases people can sing to them, but actually their slightly bigger brother is better for that, the SM58, which is more of a vocal microphone, if you will, and sounds good on saxophones. It also sounds terrific on guitar cabs as anything, but I use these for snares, for toms, anything that I need, and I love them. I think they're an engineer's best friend, and any recording studio, I think you're going to find this pair of microphones, the SM58 by Shure and the SM57. Very common and very easy to use microphones, although not the best. There are definitely better brands and styles of microphones out there, as you'll see. So this is one that I would definitely put in that category of being better than the SM57 and 58. It's a Shure SM57 Beta, and this is designed specifically for vocals. I've also used this microphone on a snare drum because it's excellent for picking up the high frequencies, and it's also, I think, one of the most beautiful mics ever made when you take the windscreen off of it. I love this, and you know, I think professional musicians, I think professional singers really depend on these. At least in my experience as stage manager for the Prague Day Festival for a number of years, you see these guys a lot, and you see the other two a lot. And in many ways, these are kind of the backbones of my microphone collection and what makes up my recordings. But I do have some different microphones to show you. So this is a guy that I think if you're going to be recording drums, you need. And my kind of philosophy in building a recording studio was that if you have enough microphones and you have enough inputs to cover a drum set, then you can do just about anything you want from there, and you're just going to move up from there. So this is one of the most essential items. If you're going to do a drum session, you need one of these guys. And again, I'm a Shure man. This is the Shure Beta 52A. and this is sweet. I've heard other models, other model kick drums, and none of them have the warmth and the power of this. None of them quite project the way this microphone does. So if you pair this guy with, say, the 57 Beta, you have your kick and your snare mic, and then you fill out your toms with this guy, and it'll give you a great drum sound. So I'm sure you're asking yourself, okay, I've talked about kick drum mics, I've talked about tom mics, I've talked about, I haven't talked about overhead microphones. So overhead microphones are a bit tricky to pick out. I think everybody kind of has their unique opinion on what constitutes a good overhead mic, but I picked these guys up for that purpose, and they are the M5 by Rhodes. I'm a big fan of Rhodes products because you can use these as overheads and kind of project them down or whatever, and they have these windscreens, which I think are terrific, but these are also great on acoustic guitars. Oftentimes I'll use the miking technique of one of these guys at the bridge and this guy here at the neck of the guitar, and have like a nice stereo spread that way. Place them about, I would say, within an inch or two from the fretboard, and you'll have a really nice sparkling acoustic guitar sound. Same for cymbals. These microphones, they're condenser microphones, and they come in a pair like this, and they are designed to record choirs. Say if you're a music teacher and you want to hear what your choir sounds like, these are great to put up in the air and just capture all frequencies. You're not going to miss anything. It's going to pick up the lows, it's going to pick up the mids, it's going to pick up the highs. I've used these to record recitals before. One time I did a recording session where I was recording a girl playing the flute and a piano, and I believe I put these guys in the piano with this guy here kind of in the bottom to get a nice bottom end. I don't know if that's a miking technique that's sanctioned by the recording industry or not, but I thought the recordings turned out really good that way. And they're also great room mics, too. So, I mean, like if you're recording a situation like that where there's an audience and you want to pick up some room ambience and some audience noise, they're great to put in the room just to get, a realistic sound. I used them that way when I recorded my friend who's a vocalist. I recorded her in a church, and I think I used these to pick up some ambience somewhere. So really highly recommend these guys. Great multi-purpose mics. These are the M5, a matched pair from the good people at Rhodes. So I think that one of the things that you're always looking for in a studio situation is a great vocal microphone. Now, the one that I'm speaking into right now, I think, is perhaps the best that I've come across. And this is the Shure SM7B. Again, I'm a Shure man. I really stand by their products. And I think, the quality of my voice that you're hearing on this channel is a testament to the SM7B. You see this guy everywhere, from live performances, studio recording sessions, and even radio and podcast use. The SM7B appears all the time, and it's one of the microphones that I've picked up most recently. I actually picked it up specifically for this channel, and also my podcasting activities, but I also got it as a vocal mic, and right before quarantine I cut a couple of vocal sessions on it, and I was just blown away by how good it is. So I love this microphone. This is the Rhoads NT2A, or the Rodent, and it comes with this great windscreen, which can be kind of a pain to maneuver, but I used this microphone quite a bit in school, and what's nice about it is you have these controls that are on the side of it. So you have, you can go for like a figure 8 pattern. You can also go for what's called a cardioid pattern, which is, think cardiac heart shape, so it's kind of something like that. And it also has omnidirectional, which is picking up sound from all around. This is a great vocal mic. This is great on pianos, especially if you want to do like a mid-side miking technique. You pair this with, like the Bluebird, which you're going to see in a minute. You could do some really cool stuff with mid-side miking. But it has some EQ on it, high-pass filter, low-pass filter, or no filter, and it also has a minus 10 dB and a minus 5 dB. I've used this on bass, on like stand-up bass, or an instrument that's really loud like a horn, and you can cut either minus 5 or minus 10 and save a lot on your input. And that's one of the reasons why I really like this microphone. I've considered selling it and trying to get something different or just keeping the money since I'm using the SM7B so much. But I think it really is important to have a good condenser mic with these options, these different polar pattern options. I really think it's a good idea to keep one of these guys around. And the Rhoads NT2A, or the Rodent, this is, again, something that I've been using since my school days, and I really love it. So I thought I'd show it. All right, and last but certainly not least, a microphone that doesn't quite get as much use as I'd like to. I'd like to use it a little bit more often. The thing is that it's a very sensitive mic, and you need to be using it in a completely isolated space, one instrument at a time, because this would pick up the voice of God if he spoke. It is that powerful and that sensitive. It's made by the good people at Blue, another fine microphone manufacturer, and comes in this wonderful wooden case, which I've always found so charming. But you open this guy up. This is called the Bluebird. And it doesn't have much in the way of like different polar patterns or whatever. It's just a super good vocal mic. I remember I recorded a session with my friend Nate for an album called Coloratura, a record called Unfamiliar Skies by Coloratura. We did a session with Nathan where he stood in the middle of the room and screamed at the wall, and it sounded like it was right in front of him. It's an incredibly sensitive and cool mic to have around, and gosh, that the shape is so nice. It doesn't have, again, much in the way of features. It does have some kind of filter on it. I'm not sure if that's a low pass or a high pass, and it's also got a minus 20 dB. It's really cool, like if you want to do a mid-side miking technique, to match these two guys together. I've also used them together on stand-up bass, and it would capture the whole sound of the stand-up bass. I always mix them right down the middle to give it like a nice, powerful bottom, and capture all the range of the instrument. But yeah, this is perhaps the most expensive microphone in my collection. I don't use it, again, because it's so sensitive. I don't use it very often, but it can be really good, again, for recording piano, or in situations where you're out. I know I've done a number of sessions like in churches and stuff where a guy like this is really good for picking up all the ambience of an instrument or the room or both. So yeah, that's my microphone collection. I hope to get more as I go forward and kind of diversify, but I am in a very small space, so there's a limit to what I can keep. I wasn't going to mention it, but I do have another microphone that I actually, when I found it, I had the idea that maybe this would make a good channel microphone, and it's the Audax Aps9. It comes with a battery pack, but this guy is a flute mic, and it's designed to clip right on your flute. I'm a flute player, which if you need some, hit me up. But this is really intended for live situations. But I was thinking when I was looking at it that it would make a really great like shirt mic if you could get a clip for it, and might make me less stagnated when I do YouTube videos. I don't know. I personally really like the sound of the SM7B, which is what I'm using right now, and I like the look of it too. I don't mind that it's a little stagnant. There's something about that I appreciate. But you may see this guy more in my future. I might try to get a clip for him and use him as like a shirt microphone, or maybe have a guest or something on. But again, it's not really something that you would use much in a recording studio. That's all the microphones that I have. I hope to get more in the very near future. But again, space is a huge concern for me. I live in a very small space, and I like to keep only things that I need or can use. But who knows? I may want to get something a little bit meatier for my drums at some point soon. Like I know I've used a couple of different mic manufacturers for drums that get terrific sounds. But the reason why I'm depending so much on 57s, 58s, and this guy is because they are not incredibly loud microphones. You have to get kind of close to them. They don't pick up a whole lot of room sound. And I do have a good room sound. It's about 90% protected, but there's always, like, say a lawnmower goes by, or somebody on an ATV. There's always the potential that something like that could be picked up on the Bluebird or the Rodent. So that's why I tend to use a lot of dynamic microphones, which aren't nearly as sensitive as condenser mics. But yeah, I would like to expand at some point. So if you're watching this and you have any ideas about how I could do that, please feel free to make suggestions in the comments. If you're a home recording artist and you have a microphone collection, please let me know what you have. I would be very interested to know. Again, please keep your comments respectful. I really, I know I don't have like a whole lot compared to some of the more expensive studios. I don't have any ribbon microphones and all that. But it is because I'm working well within a budget. And I do make most of my money off of production. So I got to be careful. But anyway, once again, my name's been Ian Beabout, and it's been a real pleasure talking to you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see more information about ShedSounds Studios or the way things are put together here, again, let me know in the comments, and I would be happy to make more videos about this kind of content. So until next time, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.